Today I will be interlocking my locks. I typically interlock them every 6 months. This is to prevent any tension at the root and then also not to create a bunch of holes within the shaft of my locks. And it's important to do it correctly. So I use this tool to interlock it. So pretty much what I do is I put the end of my lock into the needle, and then you do it several directions. So you can either do it 4 directions or 2 directions. So I typically do it 4 directions, and whatever direction you want your lock to lay, that will be your final direction. So I want my lock to lay this way, so I'm going to start with either coming in from the back or going in the front, and then the second one will be coming up this way, and then whichever way I didn't come, front or back, is where I'm gonna go next, and then I'm gonna go through it again downward to actually finish and seal the interlock. And it's important not to get it too tight to your roots. So when you do go through your whole completion, it's supposed to be a little clean, so you have less of your roots loose or looking like you need to retwist it. But you don't want to have it where it's actually super tight, because then it'll start pulling at your roots, and then you eventually lead to having thinning and damaging the roots of your hair. So if you see people who have locks where they're like super thin at the root, a lot of that comes from over twisting it and then over interlocking it and putting tension at the root. So a lot of hairstyles can cause that too. So what you really want to do is make sure that whatever you do to your locks, that you're always protecting your roots, just like with any other way of naturally wearing your hair, or even relaxers. When you get certain hairstyles, you don't want to be pulling at your roots so tight, because you see it where people edges are gone, they don't have any edges here, they have thinning throughout their hair. So yeah, so today with this tool I'll also be using a comb to just kind of comb in all the strands of hair, so it's like neatly coming into formation to my locks. So like this one, like just kind of just sweeping the comb through it just to get it all gathered up. So that's like I'm gonna comb, then I got my comb to clean up, not really parts, because I really don't have any like strategic parts, but just I like to wear my hair like this, so I at least like to make this look like a straight up a part. So I'll do like something like this, splitting my little 80 point, so that this hair goes with this lock and this hair goes with that one. And then also I'll be using some elastics or headbands, whatever you want to call them, to actually section my hair off, because I like to section my hair off in 4s and tackle it that way. Typically the back up, just because I feel like I take a long time with the back, since I have little visibility and I actually have more locks back there. So I like to start in the back and come up to the front, and then just easily knock out the front. And then I have some hair clamps to clamp some of my hair too. So like here, since I parted it and I know I'll be starting on this side, I just clamp that so all the hair like cleanly is like slick, so I don't end up getting any strands mixed up in anything I'm working on over here. I also have some oil to apply to my scalp after, and I have some scissors just to clean up the shaft a little bit, not too much because I don't want to cut them. And then I have some water just to apply a little moisture to my roots, so that I'm not mangling with it and they're dry. And so ideally you would want to wash your hair really well. Let it, well, you can do this on your wet locks. You don't have to have them dry. It's just easier sometimes, because when they're wet, they carry a lot of water, so it just kind of makes it more of a wet, everything's just kind of wet. And typically I like to wash my hair on a day that I'm going to be out and about, so that way it's naturally getting dried by the air. Because I find like if I wash it and I'm not doing anything, I'm not going outside, it tends to have that mildewy smell to it, and we don't want mildew in our locks, and we don't want that smell in our locks. We want to make sure that they're clean and they're not hoarding anything that could be detrimental to our health and to the health of our hair. So let's get into it, and I'll show you how I start my interlocking. Now I've been interlocking my hair for probably like the last I've had my locks since 2016. I was going to a shop, like I went to a shop to get them started, and then I would go back routinely, you know, the process of starting my locks. So I was loose natural before locking my hair, and I went to a shop, and the process that this particular loctician took is pretty much she did the initial twisting, and then she untwisted every time I went back, and like kind of roughened the hair up a little bit, so it kind of made it lock a little faster versus just having the twist and then not doing anything to it. And then she also let me know, like, make sure I'm just like palm rolling it and things like that, so that, you know, kind of would make the hair a little more durable than it would be just loose natural. And I'm trying to think about when my hair started budding. I can't remember. Maybe probably it was pretty fast. I think probably like within the first 3 to 5 months, or maybe, yeah, around that time it started budding. So it started the locking process fairly early in my journey. And so I've had my locks, I got them December of 20, I started my journey December 2016, on December 20, 2016. And then, so this December, I would be at 7 years. So I have cut them. So they were getting heavy, so I did cut them. And so now they're starting to grow back out. I go to the shop and she'll redo my hair. And I did that probably the first four years. And in the meantime, to keep it up, I learned how to retwist it myself. And then probably about 2018, maybe 2019, I started to interlock them. It's like this one better because it actually lasts way longer than retwisting it, because retwisting is tricky. Ideally, you want to put it in a style so that it allows the retwist to hold and allow for your hair to start, you know, that new growth to start formulating into the shaft of your hair. But you know, if you just retwist it, you just have the risk of it untwisting once you start sweating and stuff. Now, when I first did it, I watched plenty of YouTube videos. I made myself very knowledgeable of the risks and the benefits of it. So I would advise you to watch other videos too before you jump into it, so that you have a wide spectrum of what to do, what not to do, what may have worked for me and what may have worked for others, techniques, everything. So let's get into it. These are the only tools that I would be needing today. So I have my spray bottle full of water. I have my actual tool to complete the interlocking, my needle. I have some oil to put on after. I have some scissors just to trim up the shaft of my locks. I have some clamps, some hair clips to clip back to make sure that I'm including the right strands with the right lock. And I have some elastics, or some elastics to section my hair off. And then I have a comb just to get a clean inclusion into the lock so that I don't have any stragglers. Pretty simple, nothing too basic, nothing too, you know, but these are my tools. And then the towel is pretty much for me to wipe my hands on and things like that.